Well, welcome to the January 10th, 2023 session of Tangerine SDR and Hamside Technical Session. My name is Dave, KV0S, and this week I've been doing a little programming and getting a few things in my ham shack straightened out and cleaned up. Always need to clean up. So that's about it for me. Next on the list is Nathaniel, W2NAF. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
Thanks, Dave. It continues to be very, very busy here. I feel like I'm writing lots and lots and lots of reports. So I still have to write the DAISY report. So that one's overdue right now, but I have to do that. I still have to write a report for the university about my progress over the last year. I did finish reports for a couple of my other projects. It just seems like everyone wants reports. And then, Christina got some reviews back on one of her papers. So I'm trying to help her through that review process. And so we're working on that. And as I was saying before the meeting started, we are having a meeting with our antenna contractor and our engineering firm and electrician physical plant at the University of Scranton tomorrow. And we're going to talk, we are hopefully going to kick off actually having the engineering firm draw up the official drawings for the station in the project. So hopefully that will go smoothly. And if it does, that is a major step forward on the project. I'm also meeting with people for the Hamside local club members to talk about putting in a temporary special event station at the university for the Hamside workshop. So we're working on that. Just $1.5 million things going on with that. And I guess I did speak to Scotty last week. He said that he was going to try to get the TangerineSDR data engines tested for the weekend. And I'm hoping that he has done that or is getting close, because that's one of the reasons I'm dragging my feet on writing the report, because I really want to write down that these things have been tested and sent out to people. But we shall see how that goes. Well, maybe later we can talk more about the Hamside workshop logistics. I've made some good progress on getting the hotel blocks set up and stuff like that too. So W2NAF, back to now.
Well, very good. Next on the list is David, N1 HAC. Go ahead, David.
Oh, hi, everyone. Been an interesting few weeks going rounds with my Macintosh, trying to upgrade it, but and having to resort to third party rather than Apple software. I don't know what their problem is, but the regular operating system works, but boy, their backup stuff sucks. And other than that, I've just been kind of futzing around. There's a new CubeSat on the air that I've been listening to that was released from ISS recently. Who is it? Oh, Indonesia put it up there. Just seems to be putting up packet, but when the ISS goes over, you can hear it on what's it, 145.825, I think. Kind of interesting. Anyway, looking forward to getting back to the Tangerine stuff, and I'm wondering how others have progressed with all that. So I guess that's it, other than weather-wise, we've got cold but very little snow at the moment. So back to net.
Well, fine business. And next on the list is Bill, AB4EJ.
Thanks, Dave. Good evening to the net. My time for this project has been kind of limited because I've been focusing on some of the machine learning stuff the past week. But however, I am about 2/3 of the way through creating a detailed write-up which explains how to set up a magnetometer, get it on the Personal Space Weather Station network, and I'm adding a section on how to generate a great one, which will run digital RF. And every time I look at it, I realize there's something else I've neglected to mention or explain about. So it's going to be quite a document. So that is what I'm working on for this project. I turned in a abstract to the HAMSci workshop for explaining how to extract estimates of the time period for an LSTID by analyzing the PSK spot data. So anyway, and the amplitude. So anyway, that's where we are. Back to Ned.
Well, very good. Next on the list is Bob in 5 BRG. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, hello, everybody. Just staying real busy, but moving along at a real slow pace, it feels like. Picked up one of those Euphoria sound cards and hope to get it installed pretty soon. I have a small little house. It's kind of like a dog house that I installed at the base of one of my antenna poles today, and I'm going to put all this stuff in that. So making some progress here. Looking forward to hearing what's going on with hardware here. Back to you, Dave.
Very good. Next on the list is Dylan R. Dylan, any comments?
No, I don't really think so. Yeah. Other than living in a friend's trailer until we can get everything packed up. Almost done. So close. Back to net control.
Well, fine business. And next on the list is Greg. Greg, any comments?
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Okay. I'm a little new to the Zoom thing, so you have to excuse me. I got wind of Tangerine by looking at some old Tapper work that had that high definition SDR, and I see that they're giving those away now, so I guess that's all over but the shouting. So I wanted to come and see what you guys are into, and I have learned or have surmised that you've got a supply chain issue, and that's pretty much halted design at this time. Is that correct?
Partially. Some of the stuff is moving through the system, but it's really the FPGAs that are slowing us down mostly.
But we do have a design now, and prototypes have been produced. So they're in the hands of Scotty right now for testing. So things are moving along. I guess there's a big open question of, can we get more of these FPGAs once we make our prototypes? So
Is there a place where I can find out the parts list and what's in short demand?
it's the FPGA that's the thing that's in
yeah,
short demand.
we started with Max 10 FPGAs, the largest one.
And since that's the largest one, everybody wants it, I guess.
Well, it's a part chain that was bought out by Intel, and it's low priority among their FPGAs. They have more expensive ones they'd rather sell.
I won't belabor this much here longer, but looking at the architecture, what little I could learn by looking at various records, is not really a very deep cache of design records on the project. Maybe you can lead me down that road. Quite a number of my friends are doing, instead of just having 2 channels that are clocked simultaneously, they're looking at 4 channels they clock simultaneously, so they can use a 4-square antenna to do direction finding on the actual, angle that the signal is coming in on. If it's not a horrible burden, I think for those people that are interested in having 4 channels, that would be an interesting addition to your work.
Well, it's basically our receiver boards are 2 channels each, and they are synced. And Tom will tell you something more about that later. And
Yeah.
there's space to put in 2 of those 2 channel boards.
So you do get 4
Yeah,
synchronized.
we are
channels.
hoping to have 4 synchronized channels on this one.
Okay, that's very good to hear. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So just,
Yep.
Just a quick aside on that. I just heard about the Kraken SDR. That's 5
Yes.
synchronized channels.
Yes, it's 5, basically.
It's 5
RTL
RTL
SDRs.
SDRs synchronized in a
Yes.
common.
I actually
Very
have
interesting.
one.
Oh, neat.
So, but they kind of got in trouble sideways with some
Well, the
passive
passive
ra-
radar
the passive
code,
radar,
which is
code
like, hey, we all know how to do that. What's the big
Yes.
deal?
Well, apparently the export people didn't like,
Right. Well, I know DoD gets upset with that, but it's like, hey, tough.
but it was developed all over the world. So
Right. Exactly. Talk to Yuha about that one.
yes. Let's move on. We're doing a roll call at this point. And so Greg, the one thing I did want you to know is there's a website, TangerineSDR.com, that has some of the documents.
I did see some of the documents, but I
And
couldn't find out what FPGA you were using or
yes,
what
well,
data crunchers you were
if-
using or any of that.
if you go into the section with individual boards, it describes them. It's a number of boards that you can plug together. And Tom in 5EG has been working on code which is not ready for actual users, but it is for those of us developing. He's making progress on that, and he'll give a report in a little bit. So you'll learn more as we go along. I just wanted you to know about those resources. Anyway, next on the list is James, KG4 DSG. Go ahead, James.
Evening, Dave and the group. Winding down from the holidays, got the Christmas decorations all up in the attic yesterday, so that's done. Talking about part shortage, I was actually looking for something today, and I just like, well, what are the 18 mega 328s, the Arduino chip? And nobody has them. Just the bare chip. You can buy Arduinos, but I was
Yes.
just looking for the chip, and Mouser says 0, DigiKey says 0, Microchip says maybe, since they make them. But yeah, they say it's getting better, but I'm not seeing it yet. With that, back to the net.
Well, next on the list is, let's see, Jay, WB8 SBI. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, hello there, everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you all had a happy holiday season. You just cited a Tangerine website. Could you please give that website URL again?
TangerineSDR.com.
TangerineSDR.com. All one word.
Yes, and that's the website for this project.
Yeah. Okay. Nathaniel, any information, even unofficial, about what the cost is going to be for the hotel for the Hamside conference?
Yes, it will be 100, including tax, about $124 a night.
Oh, okay. That's not too.
So, yeah, I just met with the hotel representative today. So, the hotel block is set up, and I put the information on the website, but they had the wrong rate in the system. So if you call right now, they may give you like a more expensive rate. If you wait a couple of days, their system should be back up, and I'll call and confirm and make sure. So you're welcome to try calling. It should be, if you go to the conference website now, the information's there. It should be $109 a night plus tax. They might have it in the system as $139 per night, but it should be $109.
Okay, that's a plan. Otherwise, nothing really new here at this side of the world. Just my Society of Automotive Engineers cybersecurity stuff. After the holiday break here is picking back up and chugging along. So Nathaniel, also a question for you. I know you're extremely busy. You're trying to, you're working 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. But for some of the local ham radio clubs up here, can I email you a schedule of our meetings for the rest of the year? If I could ask you to, for a 15 or 30-minute presentation to one of our club meetings.
Yeah, I could do that.
All right. Other than that,
Or work something out.
yeah, we'll work something out. Anyway, everybody, I hope everybody is well. I hope you all survived the great freeze we had just before Christmas, and that if you have a generator, that it really, truly, absolutely worked. Oh, by the way, Nathaniel, and you can call this for your classes too. When it got that cold, a lot of battery powered cars, a lot of Teslas did not work. Doesn't matter how well you maintain them, they did not work. Their batteries, because of that low temperature, they just didn't work, or they had very, very short range, or when you went to charge them, they just didn't take the charge, or it took an extremely long amount of time. So that might be something you would want to maybe present to some of your classes, or maybe one of your colleagues would like to make a presentation on that, of the effect of temperature on batteries. And it's not just Tesla batteries, it's all batteries.
In general, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it really happened. A lot of Tesla cars were just, you expect them to go X amount of distance, and the reality is they only did this. And then the time that it took them to charge, you would expect this amount of time normally, but it would take like, 2 and 3 times the amount of time to get them recharged. So
They also shouldn't be charged at those temperatures.
No.
well,
That'll-
when you're
that'll ruin-
stranded out in the middle of boony
Well, I
land,
know, but
when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you didn't plan for that, and you didn't think about it, and not only then Tesla may not have told you about it, and you're not technically oriented, well, go file a lawsuit with
Yeah.
again, go get the ambulance chasing lawyer to file a lawsuit against Elon, and good luck with that. But
Well, you may get very hot very fast if you don't watch out.
yeah.
I,
So anyway, that's all that's new here. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and back to Ned.
Okay. Next on the list is Joe, W7LUX. Go ahead, Joe. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, but I'm having trouble getting
Oh.
the thing to unmute. Stand by.
It worked.
You're unmuted.
Okay, now I'm on
Yes.
mute. A
Yes.
couple of things. Number one, we've had snow here, so I've been busy relocating snow. Got lots of rain in California. My brother's having about an inch an hour there in Santa Barbara area. And Janice's son is, they're getting flooded out in San Francisco. Pressure is so great on the sewer system that it's blowing the manhole covers right off the lower sewer system covers. And let's see, a ham up in Utah, a good friend of mine, has one of those Krakens, and he really likes that. He's watching all the VHF, UHF signals come in from bouncing off every building and every cliff and every mountain in sight. So he's just having a great old time with that Kraken. And just before 1900 today, we had an X-class flare, and I would like to share my screen and show you what happened on the grape. So I do a share, and then I do one of these. And can you see the big old flare right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
That took that's the biggest one I've seen.
Wow.
The big dip and the shark fin, the upside down shark fin there, and a huge jump in the Doppler.
Yeah.
Okay, how do I go ahead and unshare me if you can, Dave or Nathaniel?
There, I got you.
Super. I lost the button. Anyway, so it's been interesting here. Been playing around with with 630 meters and still can't make a contact, just don't have enough power, but I'm working on that. Thanks much, Dave.
Very good. Well, next on the list, we have Jonathan, KC3 EEY. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Buddy.
Yep, now we can hear you.
Hi, yes, I've been busy this past week. I've been going through the data for the chorus event the previous week. What's interesting is this event is dual band chorus, because the chorus reaches up to 6 kilohertz, which is really cool. So I captured the recordings. It's about a 4-hour recording, about 3 hours of peak chorus that triggered the event detector. I'm in the process of making spectrograms. I also haven't checked yet for today's hot solar flare, but I'm going to be doing that soon. Probably see a nice shark fin in NAA. And lastly, the Raspberry Pi 4 that I ordered from DigiKey a while ago, a couple months ago, finally shipped. So I now have a Raspberry Pi 4 at its regular cost. And that was quicker than than the lead time that was stated on DigiKey a couple months ago. So I was happy about that, and I'm going to start using that Raspberry Pi for some more experimentation. I'm planning on having some hardware available for the HamSci conference in the demo room. And Nathaniel, if you have a quick minute afterwards, I would like to go over what you would like me to present about with HamSci. I have some ideas. I was going to do a presentation on a year of operation of the VLF system, and all the interesting data that we received. And I could also do a poster as well. That's all I have. Back to the net.
Okay, next on the list, we have Dave, KD0EAG. Do you have any comments, Dave? Can see your mic mute is off, but I can't hear you. Well, maybe Dave will get that figured out and comment later. Next on the list is Jules. Have I called on Jules yet?
Try and unmute here. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, for some reason the screen keeps freezing every few minutes and I have to restart. But goal this week was to essentially finish a write-up that for the hardware paper for Hyman that covers the initial experimentation with the, well, first of all, the description of the RM3100 magnetometer, the initial experimentation, the temperature coefficient problems ran into, the solution with the in-ground housings, several recordings showing the resolution possible below 5 nanoteslas, and got that done and shipped it off to Hyman for a checkup before it gets posted on the GitHub site. So hopefully that's done and ready to go.
Well, Oh, very good.
Thank you, Jules.
And next on the list is Tom in 5EG. Are you a little wet there, Tom?
Oh, it hasn't been bad. It's been windy. We haven't got quite the rain that California has, so. But the wind has been howling, which is pretty unusual for these parts. Well, Happy New Year to everybody. It's good to see everyone back in the group. I put the project on hold for about 2 weeks to go do something different than the project. It was pretty intense there for about 6 weeks. I had to rebuild the AC power distribution for the audio recording system for another project. So that took a couple of weeks. I've started code cleanup so that the current version of code that passes the test 1A phase can be actually used by some folks. And I've started basically just cleaning up the C code. And it's, I don't like the way the cleanup has started. So I think I'm going to trash that and go back and do it a different way. So not much progress to report on any of that this week. Back to the group.
Okay. And then there was, Dave Topinski. You got any comments, Dave?
No comments. This is the first time I've joined y'all via Zoom. Glad to see everybody again. I'm sure I met y'all at one of the ham fests or another. Basically, I'm just here to see how y'all are doing on the Tangerine itself. Other than that, I'm just gonna mind my piece.
Well, we've got basically a couple of boards that are for the people that are building the FPGA code right now. And that's where we are at this point. Then there's a whole bunch of code that has to be written.
Yeah,
So
I bet.
after the FPGA code, then there's just regular code that we have to write too. So, but we have bits and pieces from all the projects we've worked on before. So we're hoping that we can leverage that stuff, including Open HPSDR, as somebody mentioned.
Yeah.
So anyway, did I miss anybody else? Well, I guess then we're open for general discussion. And I have a question for Tom or David. Tom or David, I'm not willing to make the mods that you guys made on your clock board. And I was going to send it to Scotty, but I'm wondering if one of you'd be willing to make the mod. Might be a little faster than sending it to Scotty.
Yeah.
You willing, Dave?
I would do it.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, I'll mail you my board. And
All right.
I haven't touched it. I looked at it and I decided I'd rather let somebody else do it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. It's easy.
Yes.
Easy for me.
I'm more of a code guy. So
Yeah, if you send it, actually probably best send it to my home address. N1HAC is
Okay.
correct on QRZ.
QRZ. Okay. Thank you.
Could I go through and maybe take another roll call of people here and ask if they are planning on going to the Hamsci workshop, if they're planning on being either virtual or in person, and if they are attending, if they are planning on giving some sort of a presentation?
I'm planning to come in person, and I'll talk to Jim about what we can present.
Great. So David McGaw is in person and you will present something. Great. Thanks, David.
Yep.
I'm probably planning to be virtual.
Dave Larson, virtual. Okay. Are you
Okay.
just attending or are you presenting too?
Well, I don't have that much to present yet.
Great. So I'll just put down attending. Tom?
Probably virtual.
Okay,
And I don't know that I'm going to have anything to demo yet at that time, so probably no presentation.
okay. Bill, I know you
I
are
will be
planning on,
there in person. I submitted an abstract already. So.
yes, and I got that. In person presenting. Anybody else?
Hi there.
I may be virtual, but I don't have a presentation.
Jules, you'll be virtual, but you won't present?
Correct.
Okay. Jules.
And I'm
Uh-huh.
going to make every effort to attend in person.
Attending.
But question, I looked at the, you've got two hotels there, the Radisson and the Hilton. Any particular preference for which one's better?
I would recommend the Radisson. And the Radisson is the one that used to be an old train station. And that's really fancy. And it's also about 100, it's a little closer to the university too. So you're probably going to save yourself about 150 or 300 feet of walking if you stay at the Radisson. So between the historic nature of the building, the exquisite architecture, and the shorter commute, I recommend the Radisson.
Roger that. Okay, so
That's also where we're planning on having the closing dinner too, in the
aha.
big. So we're
Oh.
planning on having the closing dinner in the big lobby of the Radisson.
Yeah, when you get done with roll call here, I've got something else for the group that I forgot during the initial roll call. So back to you. And I'll pick it up when we
Yeah.
go back to general conversation.
Great.
I would try to attend virtually, and I don't have anything I would present that I know of right now. And would you remind me of the dates?
Sure, it's March 17th and 18th.
And I'm sure Nathaniel has information about it on the hamsci.org website
I do. So
for the new people.
I can put the link in the chat here.
Oh, that reminds me, is the solar eclipse QSO party, does it have a link on there? I know it
It-
has a page, but
It
is it
doesn't
linked?
yet. So I think we need to
Okay.
start. I think we need to talk about that at our meetings. We need to. I
Right.
think the page still needs a little bit more cleanup, but we are working. So I know that that Gary is working with our graphics designer to come up with like a banner for it. And I think hopefully within the next week or couple weeks, we will roll out the solar eclipse QSO party plans.
All right. Sorry to interrupt, but that
Oh,
came to
no,
mind.
that's okay. Tom and Jules, if you do, I would love to see you in person. If you do feel like coming down, it'd be great. I know I've met Tom in person before. I don't think I've ever met you in person, Jules. So if you feel comfortable with it, I'd really love to have you down. And you've done a lot, so much work on the project. We could talk about covering your costs too. So it would be really, really great if you could make it.
Well, it's still a few months away, so I have some time to plan yet. I'll see if I can do that. We'll see what happens with the Kraken variant of COVID in the meantime.
Yeah. No, I understand that everyone has different levels of comfort. And I know that Tom has a particularly arduous journey to get here. But
It's a long trip.
it is a long trip. But if you were able to make it, it would
Okay.
be very, very appreciated for all the work that you've done so far. So
Thank you, Nathan. It's about a 3-hour run here, so thanks, Nathaniel.
yeah, and with all the work you've done, it could certainly cover your costs. So,
Okay, we'll look at it and see if there's any way to make the airline connections work.
Okay, we have, so the airport here does have connections to Newark. So if you get
Okay.
to Newark, they do have regular flights. It's barely a flight. You're probably in the air 20 minutes.
Okay,
So you either just take that flight from Newark over to our airport, or you rent a car and it's a 2-hour drive from Newark to here. So either way, if you fly into AVP, it's a 15-minute drive. And if you fly
Okay.
into Newark, it's a 2-hour drive. So
okay, we'll look at the options. And how far of a drive is it from Philadelphia?
about 2 hours.
Okay,
So Newark and Philly are about equidistant.
okay,
So, and the local airport, the regional airport is very nice. So that's one I enjoy flying in and out of there, and it's very easy to get to Scranton from there. But if you can only make it into a major airport, either Newark or Philly are good choices. Binghamton's also not far. That's more of a regional airport though, but that's about an hour away. And Dave Larson, the same thing goes for you with all the
Oh.
work that you do with running these telecons and everything and keeping the code
Yep.
together. It'd be very nice to have you in person. Because one of the stated goals of the Hamsai workshop is to be a team meeting for the personal space weather station.
Yep.
So please consider coming.
Okay.
And same thing for Dave Witten. I see you're on there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
You have
can hear
anything
you.
to say, Dave?
No, I really don't. Except I'm pretty sure from what I see that you can't get from Columbia to Scranton. Period.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, it just can't be done. There's no
You can't get
path.
to Newark
Yeah,
or Philadelphia.
we have that saying around here. Yep, can't get that from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said,
I have a
the
quick
next best
question
option
now.
is either either Newark or Philadelphia. Yes, Dylan.
Sorry, you can finish what you said.
No, I was just saying that the next best airports are either Philadelphia or Newark
Okay.
that are major airports.
So I did have a quick question though, and for the abstracts to present for the Hamsai convention, I already forgot what it was called.
Hamsai workshop.
Hamsai workshop. There we go. So for the abstracts, like what would be considered a accepted abstracts? I guess if you could call it that, because I have an idea on a device that you could use for the atmosphere. I think it's the, why can I'm drawing a brain fart now. The high altitude balloon launches.
Yeah.
I have a idea that I want to make later on. I definitely don't have time for to get it done on this workshop, but I have an idea for that, and I want to either turn it into a business or a I guess use grants or something like that. I'm not really sure at this point.
Yeah.
I haven't decided, but would something like that be
it's possible. I'd have to know for the Hamsai workshop, I'd have to know how it's developed a little bit more. One thing, are you working with any mentors at all?
Not yet. Like I said, I just have the idea in my head.
Yeah.
I haven't really gone farther than that, other than looking for companies that would be able to produce the product so that I can see what my best angle of attack, I guess, for lack of a
Yeah.
better term, would be.
Balloons aren't particularly my expertise. I wonder if, I don't know, Dave or anyone else here, if there's someone in Tapper or who would like to talk with Dylan about these ideas a little bit more, and maybe.
I didn't want
Possibly.
to get off topic and get into that. I was, if someone does have any advice and wants to answer that, then that would be great. But I just didn't want to go off topic with that. I was mainly asking if something like that would be on there. But yeah, thank you for that answer. That
The
Well,
one project that you talked about, Dylan, is cases, and it might be interesting if you had something to talk about on that. Boxes.
yeah, for the backup batteries.
Oh, no, for the radio.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You'd suggested you might be interested in working on that.
Yes, and Scotty hasn't gotten back to me yet. I'm assuming they're still working on that and getting stuff done. So
Yes.
Because I'd like to figure out, I mean, if you're interested in coming, I'd like to figure out a way to, to get you involved and to fund you. Because I mean, one of our goals with having this funding is to support young people who are interested. But I think it'd be really nice if we could figure out like a good project for you. And yeah, the cases sound like a possible thing. The balloon thing sounds possible too, but as I said, I think if you don't have a lot of experience with it, it would be good if you worked with some sort of a mentor on the project. But if you could have, and I am at the I'm at my absolute maximum of personal mentoring that I can do right now. I would love to help you, but I just am out of time. So I don't know if we can find someone else that you could work with that, because I think you're fairly new to a lot of this stuff. And I think that if you worked with a mentor who's been around the block a little bit, they could help you do things like write the abstract and kind of put the project together. But I think we have to, and it doesn't even need to necessarily be someone on this call. If you're talking about doing balloons, I know you were at the Youth on the Air with Neil Rapp last summer. So I know you had the balloon guy there. You could contact Neil and you could contact the balloon guy. Yeah, and ask him. And there are, I'm sure there are people who could, kind of serve as mentors and work with you.
yeah, and I definitely think that something like that would be great. But like I said before, I want to be able to figure out where I can get manufacturing done first.
Yeah.
So then I'm not stuck in the middle of the project.
Again, that's where a mentor might be able to help you if they have experience with manufacturing and things like that.
Yeah. So I guess that would help too.
Yeah.
So
because if you're interested, I don't think anyone on this call is really into doing high altitude balloons. So
No.
but there are definitely people like you met McElroy, and David McGaw might know some high altitude ballooners.
Yeah, I've done high altitude balloons, but they're the big guys.
Like the LDB sort of things.
Yeah, we were on some of the ultra long duration balloons and had a
and that I think that's
scientific
beyond.
campaign of the somewhat smaller ones.
Nathaniel, wasn't Christina's team, didn't she do some balloon launches with her classes and stuff?
Christina has too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know Christina is also just incredibly oversubscribed at the moment, but you certainly,
yeah.
I know she's
a group that's not exactly where I am, but I'm involved with is New England SciTech. They're in Natick, Mass, but they have a balloon group of young people building amateur radio balloons. Might look into that.
Earl, I guess it, I guess I kind of, I'll just say what it is. Or are you fine with that, or
If
Nathaniel?
you,
Or,
I can stop the recording if you don't want it to go on the recording.
well,
Here,
yeah.
so any other final comments before we close out for the evening?
So what about my question is, where do we stand on the magnetometers and the testing and stuff that was going on there? And is that moving along still and functioning?
Jules, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, we have boards available for the two board set, one for the remote location and one for your Raspberry Pi. So those you can purchase those. You can also purchase the plug that is drilled for the waterproof connector and the PVC housing. In terms of instructions, there's a website, I should say, a GitHub site that will pretty much have all the details you need in order to make this thing. You can buy the components at your local hardware store or Lowe's or Home Depot, for the variable PVC housing. So if you want to start, it's pretty easy to do that. And again, Tapper is the source for the boards. Actually, you should probably, do we talk to Scotty right now for boards, or do we go to Tapper for that? Nathaniel, what's the current situation?
I don't know. I can look on the Tapper store. I don't think they've been released yet. So I think for now you probably have to go to Scotty if you want a board.
Yeah.
But I think, because I don't think they're actually on the Tapper store at the moment.
But he's through with the initial testing he was doing
Yeah.
there, and he's satisfied things are working. And
Yes. Yeah,
yes.
basically, and the current software from Dave, KD0AAG, the Run Mag, is what you need to to use it with the magnetometer and the Pi.
Yeah.
And it works. It works very well.
I
And
think we were
so-
trying to get some documentation done and some to send out with it and make sure that it was able to send up to Bill Engelke's system.
Right. That's the
Which-
next. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
Which does work.
Yeah.
So
But people are not quite yet accumulating data and forwarding it on to those recording systems, I guess. Huh?
Well, those of
Okay.
us who started early in the experimentation do that.
Okay.
At least to Dave, KD0AG's site.
yeah, Dave KD0EAG has most of the data right now.
Mhm.
This is
And do you know, this is maybe not a good question here, but do you know if Scotty got his house sold and moved on from that? So maybe that freed up his time more to.
no, I don't think it's sold yet. I know his new house is in the process of being built.
Right.
So he's still working on that.
He's living in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I might send him an email and ask about boards then. So does
Yeah.
it takes 3 boards to do 3 axes or
No,
one board?
it takes two boards.
Two boards.
The magnetometer is a 3-axis magnetometer. It has 3 sensors on it, X,
So it
Y, and
takes
Z,
Okay,
and it communicates over an I2C link to the board in the housing with it. That communicates over a differential I2C link over RJ45 connector to Cat5 or Cat6 cable to an equivalent board on the Pi side, which then converts the differential I2C to single-ended I2C. It also supplies 5 volts to the over the cable to the remote board. So it's a complete setup.
and which Pi are you is required?
Well, I'm running, mine are actually running on a couple of 3B pluses.
Okay.
But you can use a 4 or 3B.
I'd want to
Yeah,
use
I've
the
run
older
mine
ones
on
'cause
3s as well.
I have a bunch of the older ones, so that's what I prefer to do.
I actually
Okay.
have a dual magnetometer setup running on a over single cable running on the 3B.
Okay, great. Sounds good.
Yeah, but give Scotty drop him an email and ask him about the boards. And if
Yeah.
you get a set of boards, you can actually start experimenting with the software to see how everything runs before you actually consider deploying something in the field.
Mhm. I agree. I'm gonna try
Okay.
giving Scotty another call tomorrow. So,
Great, thank you.
all right, everyone. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week.
Okay, folks.
That
have a
was
good weekend.
7-3.
Take care, everybody. 7-3.
Thank you.
7 3s.
7-3.